I listened to so much in it was middle. I think it was like 8th grade and 9th grade. It was one of my peak Rapeman days. Should be saying that in public. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, sitting right up next to me by my lovely, wonderful co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast. We listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a new discography per episode, and today we'll be discussing, easily, every album by
Rapeman.
Oh, this is I suppose, the second installment of our Albini episodes, because we're obviously going to do all the Albini stuff.
Obviously.
We did Big Black episode 40 something. It was like a while ago at this point.
Was a while ago.
Long time ago. There should be a link popping up. Go check that one out. It was very fun. Big ol' long time Big Black fan.
Well as a few bands he produced, like Nirvana and what's that?
Oh my God. We've done so many.
One. McCluskey. There we go. Sorry. I had it like right on the tip of my tongue.
There is no way those are the only two bands he's produced.
Those are the first two off the top of my head.
Yeah. But. We've done so many episodes and he's everywhere, and he's like obviously he's one of the greatest. People who know Albini know he's beloved, and his recording sound is sought after. His guitar tone is sought after and weird and impossible to replicate for some reason. And we love Albini. But before we get into all of that, like the video if you like the video, dislike it if you're a cocksucker. It's simple. Take your pick. Sorry, I'm being hostile today. I don't know what it is.
I know. I thought you were in a good mood. We're talking about some video games off cam.
I have problems, dude.
You do. Lots of problems.
You can find... Well, go ahead.
Lots of problems you're just working through on air. On air.
That's the only time I ever do work on all these things, much to the dismay of everybody in my life. This is another bummer. Our second episode ever to not have a playlist because this is not streaming. None of these records are streaming.
But it was.
It was, I believe, until fairly recently on Spotify. You can find playlists of this band, but they're empty now. The listing on Apple Music for the band comes up, but it's again empty.
There's nothing there.
Don't know why exactly, because I'm a longtime fan of Rapeman. I'm a big fan of this band, and I think everyone needs to fucking seek out these records.
It's not even that they're out of print. You can go and buy physical copies.
Sure can.
It's just not streaming.
It's insane. It's a crime. I fucking love these records. It's a goddamn crime. Please, everyone, seek them out. No playlist, but if you'd like the playlist for all the other episodes, you can find those at everyalbumever.com, blah, blah, blah. And I guess we should jump into it a little bit. So,
yeah.
Already give a brief history. Steve Albini's second band in between Big Black and Shellac. This is a supergroup. This is pretty much a supergroup.
Pretty much.
You're a fucking noise rock nerd like we are.
Jesus Lizard, Scratch Acid guys.
Yep.
Moving to Chicago after the... what band did they break up from? I thought I could do this off the top of my dome.
Well, it was after Scratch Acid. Yeah, it was after Scratch Acid, and it was after Big Black, which is like... So when I was first pitched this band... This is another Robert band, my brother, who's on our Melvin's episodes, and everybody knows him and loves him. But he
also, it's very surreal. Robert, I'm glad, but it's surreal. Robert has fans.
I know.
I'm happy for him, but it's surreal.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It does liven up the mood when he's here. But So I remember when he came back, he was like, "Oh, Steve Albini band. This is the guys from Scratch Acid." And I was like, "All right, very cool." And the way he described it, and he's not like wrong, but it was like it's Big Black but with drums. That is a criminal underrepresentation of how incredible these performances are. Because Rey Washam is the drummer for Scratch Acid. He's a drummer here. He was, I believe, played drums in the Big Boys, which is Texas hardcore punk band, and he wanted to play with Helos Creed after this, the guy from Chrome, and he is one of the most underrated rock drummers ever. He's up there with Dale for me, like in his intensity, his technique, the way he does fills, and his drum beats are like riffs, very much like Dale. I fucking love this guy. And going back to this, I forgot how much these songs are just Rey Washam songs. It's insane.
Yeah, and much like Big Black, I think the noise aspect works because there's always something to anchor it, whether it be the drums or bass line. I had a friend in high school who was like very much into these bands, and I think I was just my brain wasn't ready for it.
Really?
Yeah, didn't like hear it and say like no, but this seemed like very like I wasn't ready for it. It was just like a bridge too far for me at the time.
This was one of those perfect age I heard this album kind of thing. Oh, the same with Big Black and Shellac as well. But I think it was early high school, like super early high school or late middle school when I found these guys. When I started getting into them, because I would listen to the album like on repeat all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it was in 9th grade, maybe 10th. I didn't really go to high school. I had dropped out very early, but I was walking around the quad area and I had a Rapeman shirt. I actually found a shirt, like a bootleg off
you're
eBay.
Asking for it.
Oh yeah, but it was also the cover of the album, and all you see are vacuum cleaners.
Yeah,
you can't really read the name.
Okay,
you can barely read the name. And so I had that shirt on, and I had a Septic Death patch in my backpack. It's a Pussheads band, his hardcore punk band, and I might have told the story in the past, but who cares? And then some faculty member, some teacher, stops me. He's like, he's got a Rapeman shirt and a Septic Death patch. Crazy. And then he just leaves. It's like, where are you going? I need a father. Come back, please. Oh my God. How does he know both of them? And I'm sure he was thinking the same thing for me. Like, how does he know both of them? They're not at all the same. They sound nothing like each other. Two very different scenes and not exactly popular amongst, East LA high schoolers.
It's funny. Well, I guess you're younger than me, but it's funny like how close in proximity we were growing up, and it's like there's this two unrelated guys who don't know each other, my friend being the other one, this like really into it, and they don't even know it. It's insane, and
also feeling completely alone, like none of my friends like this shit. None of my friends like this shit. And like even the people in my school who were into punk and stuff, they weren't into the good punk. They weren't into the punk that they weren't into the hardcore scene, the American hardcore scene, or like the foreign, European or Japanese stuff. They were into just like standard the Addicts and Casualties and fucking Black Flag and Minor Threats. Like, yeah, we all know them. Like, but there's more. But the thing is, I was just a fucking freak and a quiet loner who just kept digging deeper and deeper and deeper.
Also, your music education started very young.
Very young.
Like, most people like high school is when they're like getting into.
Yeah, I was blessed with that in a way, I suppose.
And cursed.
It's very, for many other reasons. I didn't even plug Patreon, but you join Patreon if you want to suggest an artist for us. All right, just get out of the way. Patreon.com/everyalbumember. So back to this. So it's Steve Albini guitar, vocals, Rey Washam drums, and David W. Sims or David W.M. Sims. So he's an interesting guy, Sims, because he's in Scratch Acid, he's in Jesus Lizard most notably, and he's not like a great bass player, but he's just hooky. He's good at writing bass lines that complement the most clangly, gangly, just noisy guitar lines, because
it's a weird skill set to have.
It is.
It's a good skill set, but it's weird.
Because what ends up happening in both this band and the Jesus Lizard is that the bass is holding down everything. Jesus Lizard is more musical, and Dwayne Dennison is a lot more of a guitar player than Steve Albini. Steve Albini is more noisy by far than Dwayne Dennison, but he ends up you may not know that it's him playing bass, but it really makes a difference. Like, I don't know, he's just a good bass line writer.
Yeah,
he's also, I think, a very standoffish man. I've heard only the stories of him being really mean, and
I could see that. I think like the issue I had when I was younger is like the sound like abrasive people, But then, like, you look at pictures of him and you're like, they're just fucking nerds.
Most of them are nerds and nice guys. I did hear a lot about him being like a really off-putting, not off-putting, but just a standoffish kind of guy.
Mhm.
And I only saw him. I saw the Scratch Acid reunion fucking over 10 years ago at this point. Oh my God. And I think I remember one moment because I think I was near the front. I was by Sims and he's doing his thing. He's playing bass. And I think he dropped a pick when he's playing. He dropped a pick and a crowd member fucking saw it. He was like, oh shit. And he grabbed the pick and the look.
Off the stage?
Yeah.
No.
The look that this dude shot that audience member was like, I'm going to fucking kill you. It was scary. The guy who grabbed the pick saw that and he was like,
did he put it back? Yeah.
He handed it back up and Sims was like, and he just pulled another one out. He's like, fuck off. Like it was like, whoa, but buddy, it's just a pick, dude. It's a piece of plastic. Relax. Jesus Christ. But that was intense.
No, that's
very intense.
That's something I always like wondered about. I know like the punk rock scene is very much like a we mentality, like come on stage and jump off stage. But for me, I'm like, I paid to see these people.
Right.
That's their space. This is my space. And yeah, so like I always thought that was weird seeing like people lean over and like grab set list or picks on the stage. Like you can't wait for the roadie gets to decide that.
Well, also I wouldn't say the punk thing is like a communal kind of we thing. It's more of like everybody just does what they want to do, and that's the appeal of it. It's the chaos of it. It's not maybe like more recently because punk isn't really violent anymore. It's become more of a community based thing. But you know, back in the 80s, it was very much like, I'm gonna go punch this singer in the face real quick, and that's just what I'm gonna do.
It wasn't so much a we thing as a me thing, and the me thing just. There's no personal space.
No. Oh God, no. Yeah, that's why they didn't do mic stands back then. They wouldn't stand.
Yeah.
Just knock them over. But that's my experience with seeing. Well, I still never got to see the Jesus Lizard, which is a huge bummer. But Scratch Acid is not a bad runner up.
It's not.
And plus, being able to see Rey Washam play those songs live, like, goddamn, dude, the dude got it. The dude, he's so underrated, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wish he played in more bands or there were more examples of what he does. Because I think I haven't heard too much Helios Creed. I don't even know if I've heard the stuff that he's on. But this is probably the most beautifully produced example of Rey Washam's drumming. Because this is incredible production. So I think we should probably jump. There's only 2 records. Both extremely short. Well, there's 3 records. There's a 7-inch that we're not going to be covering called Inky's Butt Crack. That was it was the only thing not released on Touch and Go, which is unusual for Albini. But 2 EPs. They were both released in 1988. And you know, let's just start it.
2 Nuns or Bud?
No, it's Bud.
But okay, yeah.
So the first record is the Bud EP, named after a Mr. Bud Dwyer, who, well, we'll talk about it more. This came out September 13th, 88.
And this goes on for a while.
This is a lengthy song for sure. Also,
it's a good song.
Oh, hell yes. This is 3 out of the 4 tracks here are live, as you can kind of hear. Some of the best live production I've ever heard.
I didn't know what to expect from a live effort, but it sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of live things, I'd be pissed off if I got it. And
yeah.
This is, especially in the 80s, but this is decent live.
Oh yeah. And this is the title track. This is lengthy. It's moody. It's minimal. It's drum centric, as you can hear.
Not even fancy drums, just
It's very Dale Crover in what he's doing. Very deliberate, short little things here and there. Again, just a fucking bass drum.
but playing slow is.
This is basically a Slint song.
Yeah.
But don't.
But don't.
But don't.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt anybody.
This is so the lyrics mostly taken from the very disturbing video that I watched a lot of in high school because of this EP. This is what made me like, oh, well, what is it? What is this? What is this? Oh, I'm gonna send this to all my friends.
I don't even remember. Yeah, if you were a teenage boy with the internet,
It's rough.
that's probably gnarlier now. Honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah. Although you don't hear too many things about, Rotten.com stuff.
Yeah.
But there's more to choose from, for sure.
For sure.
So the song does pick up and get going, but it takes a long time.
Yeah. So
And-
want me to.
Yeah. So I feel like the appeal of this song is really that. 7.5 minutes of mostly slow build up.
Yeah, it's the build up and then the release and that's an awesome song. I like that there's also, the recorded version later on so you can take your pick, but
Yeah, what are you talking about?
wait. Oh no, sorry, because they was added on. Sorry, I got messed up.
Yeah. So the remaining 3 tracks you got. So the 2 other live tracks are Super Pussy, which is hilarious, and Log Bass. Super Pussy, first of all, the outro is the most hilarious thing ever. He's just screaming Super Pussy over and over again.
I like the when it started, I was like, this could be a Devo song, but I know that guitar's not going to stay clean.
Oh, no.
No.
But that main riff is like, it's like, what would you call it? It's like high speed noise funk.
High speed.
It's it's a crazy riff. It's a really crazy riff. Super short.
Great way to describe it.
Yeah. And then I like Log Bass a lot. I think that drum line has been stuck in my head for 15 years.
Has it?
Like that. That's what I mean about Rey Washam writing riffs with these drums. Like that's what sticks in your head. It's crazy.
Mike's just gonna start listening to big band music because that could be a big. He's been watching The Mask a lot.
Way too much. But it's great. And the only non-live track is the closer, Dutch Courage, which is I think is the weakest song here. And
yeah, it's not bad, but
no, it's not bad.
But yeah, it's just you open up with an epic, and then it's
exactly that's exactly what this is. It starts off way too strong for the rest to possibly live up.
Yeah,
it's like those are fine songs. They're all fine songs, but Bud is like, oh, crazy! Like, holy shit, this is something else. This is not Big Black at all.
Yeah,
nothing close to Big Black. Never did anything remotely close to that. The same with Scratch Acid. Nothing even remotely close to that.
Mm.
And kind of, if you think about it. Not the Jesus Lizard either. Shellac in places kind of sounds like they went really minimal at that. Some stuff kind of hits that, but not as much. Not as much as I would think.
Nice little 4-track EP.
Yeah, super short, 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. But I mean, it's not streaming, but seek out the title track. I think is the main idea here.
And depending on the person, I don't even like if they're down with noisy stuff. Definitely, this is a good intro. But
100%.
I think the other ones,
the album, everyone's gonna agree is like far more essential, and we'll explain why. But even in calling this noisy doesn't even feel that fair because of how tight it is. Like they're a really tight band.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's, how do I want to say this? It gets the noise label, but I feel like we could have maybe came up with a better label for that.
Yeah, they people call it like Wikipedia. They label it as post-hardcore, but it's like it's not. I don't hear Fugazi when I hear this.
Mm-hmm.
It's noise rock. That is what noise rock is, where it's technically not even that noisy. Like it's like Halo Flies is like another example. It's like it's not that noisy.
I think when normal people hear noise, they think it's going to be feedback all the time.
There is, but it's not. It's used as part of the song. It's not really just like, oh, check out how noisy this is going to be for the next 10 minutes.
It's not like a Lou Reed Metal Machine music type deal.
No, that was a troll too.
Which I had that common misperception for a while.
Yeah, I think that's funny because it's literally just one word that distinguishes it. Rock. When you take away rock and it's just noise, then you open the door to all these Japanese bands that do this crazy shit. But you throw rock, all of a sudden you're talking about Midwest US and like, late 80s AMRAP and touch and go stuff. And it's just two completely different universes. But let's move on to the actual album because there's a lot more to say about that. This came out Halloween 1988. This is Two Nuns and a Pack Mule. Volume.
Oh, fuck. I'm not used to being in charge of this.
Oh, good.
One of the greatest Albini riffs on this song.
Absolutely one of his best songs. I love the lyrics. To this. Most of this album, they're the funniest lyrics. Why don't you snuff it, man? You plant-eating pussy. A man after my own heart.
I forget where I saw it, where it was like, we don't hate vegetarians who just think they're funny or something.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's super passionate about a thing that doesn't really matter that much, like I don't care what you eat. What do I care what you eat? But you care a lot about it, so I'm going to make fun of you. That's that kind of thing.
Oh, so cool.
Great riff.
It doesn't even sound like a fucking guitar.
That's what makes him so fucking special.
Yeah.
That's always what makes him special. Dude, that snare. Oh, he's so fucking good.
Real tight.
Oh, yeah. And the production on him is so kind. Like, the drums are carrying everything. It's just so powerful. All right, yeah, you get to blow it.
Yeah, this is a good fucking album.
It is rad, dude. And I hadn't heard this in so many years. Man, going back,
this was be on constant rotation for. This is my.
It used to be.
This is my first time listening to the album. Heard like a song here or there, but yeah, this is my first time listening to the album.
Overall thoughts.
Oh, I mean, of course, it's amazing. Like, it's well documented. Like, that was my first foray into Big Black on the Big Black episode. So coming off that, this is like a obvious evolution.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to use evolution, not even like, because some people are like, oh yeah, it's Big Black, but I think it's a little different because
it is, yeah.
On a song like Monobrow,
yep,
I cannot imagine a dance beat in a big, and like how delightful that is, especially after like Steak and Black Onions. It's like rips your face off. And then
so like to go back to that song real quick. So Monobrow is one of the I don't like the pacing of this album. I don't like the sequencing. I think Upbeat should have been track 2 100%. But Monobrow is the second track, and it kicks so much weird ass because of those drums, because of how stop and start it is. It's so stop and start.
It's definitely a song that like picks up and finishes stronger than it starts off.
It starts out like they're trying to like stack things on top. Like, let's. It's like almost falling apart together. That's how the song starts, and then. That's what you said before. At 2 minutes, all of a sudden, it's a full-on dance beat with this beautiful ass guitar line that doesn't sound like a guitar at all. It sounds electronic. Comes out of complete nowhere, and then bam, back to this disgusting, brutal, heavy thing.
That's good. And
some of the stuff that Washam does in there, like, it's not a drum roll. He's just like kind of, man, I can't. I wish I had a timestamp. You know what?
What you want?
Let's put on the dance part.
What?
Like let's do 2:10, and then when it goes back into that main riff, he just listen to those drums.
Oh man,
It's a great film. Those are harmonics. I just realized right now. Harmonics with a rhyming bar.
it's funny to listen to something like this and like, oh, I can hear like how like Modest Mouse listen to this.
I know.
And would do things and like, or a band like The Rapture and.
That. It's like, I don't know what. It's like triplets, basically. So he's going apeshit on drums. You can go lower. He's going apeshit on the drums, but he's just like a fucking machine gun on there. Like
A good triplet fill will like, and I say a good one because a bad one is a bad one, but a good one will make the section of a song sound really big and epic.
But also with that specific triplet fill, it doesn't sound. It sounds like he's doing it with one hand.
He could be.
It sounds like there's just a different sound to it. It sounds like he's doing it with one hand. I bet he is.
Yeah, it's not unreasonably fast, and it's just on the snare. So yeah, it could be.
So we spent 5 minutes on one song.
Yeah,
but so now then we got Upbeat, which is like I said, it should have been track 2. It's just so fast, it's so brutal. It's like it's heavier than anything Big Black ever did by a lot. And then one of my favorites growing up, which I became obsessed with at some point, was Coalition Ignition Mission.
That's the example of like where Albini is getting real noisy, but the bass is just
holding you down,
and it makes the song works. It makes the noise palpable,
and not to mention that fucking main riff is so hooky. Do 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 do. It. God, I love it. I really have few words for how much I fucking love that song.
Yeah, I don't know if I should research it. The album artwork says it includes the Bud EP, but I hope the vinyl version does too. If I have to buy 2 records, whatever, but if it's all included in one package, I'm like buying this next week.
Oh, for sure. I don't know.
Well, it's a one album band. It's going in the collection.
Hell yeah. Obviously my brother had the CD, so I was I heard the Bud EP just as much as this, but I don't think it's perfect, even though I like it a lot. There's a couple of bump tracks. I don't care much for Hated Chinese, even though the lyrics are insanely brutal and like funny to the point of like, Jesus Christ. Like this was the era of Albini not cutting any corners. Like I'm just going to say exactly what everyone's afraid to say. And like, just highlight all of the really dark little corners of humanity and just bring like, you can't rate that fucking song today. Like people will think you're racist when you don't really understand that it's literally not satire, but like, well, I guess satire. You're looking at it from like, hey, this is a thing that exists. Check it out.
Also, like I think I read like an interview with him recently and he's like, I was an edgelord.
100%. 100%. Like you look at Big Black's lyrics, all edgelord. Like even their most famous song is like, Jesus, you're talking about child molesters? Dude, well, come on, you're fucking bumming me out. But that was part of the whole, I guess, the punk mentality. I guess it was just a lot of it was just offend as much as possible. I mean, you look at all the swastikas or Sex Pistols. Yeah, it's like anything to get a rise out of people. That was the whole point. They did it with everything.
Also, I think you told me the 2 tracks that were swiped. So I hope
swapped. Marmoset and Radar Love Lizard. Those
Radar Love Lizard's a fucking funny name because of this thing. Radar Love.
Is that what you think? Marmoset fucking rules.
Yeah, that song slaps. But when I was listening, Radar Love Lizard, like the opening lyrics funny. It's this, I'm a lizard stuck in
I'm trapped in a man's skin.
Which is pretty funny. But then I think at one point he says, never going to listen to the Beastie Boys again. And I'm like, is that why Mike was scared to listen to the Beastie Boys? Because
Oh no, I mean that's just because I hated License to Ill.
Well, this is like this came out.
Oh, that makes
around,
sense.
Like,
that's a funny coincidence. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, I thought of you immediately when he said that. I'm like, oh, they probably hate. They both hate License to Ill.
Duh, I knew I felt a kinship.
Yeah.
So anybody who seeks this out, and it's almost never corrected. It's corrected on the Wikipedia, but almost everywhere else it's not corrected. Track 7 is Marmoset, and track 8 is Radar Love Lizard, but it's swapped on every printing of it.
Also, the fact that he says the thing about being a lizard in the lyrics makes it very obvious. Yeah.
But also, can't gloss over Kim Gordon's Panties, which is the best song title ever.
I thought that one was kind of forgettable. I would throw it on and try to find something to latch onto, and I used And then taken aback, but after listening to it, it makes no sense. But after listening to it, it makes all the sense. The ZZ Top cover,
Just Got Paid. That's my least favorite song on the record.
I love, because that's one of my favorite. I mean, it's one of their biggest songs. It's one of my favorite songs from theirs. And then like hearing the riff played through like Albini, I'm like, that is an Albini ass riff.
It is. It honestly is.
So I'm like, when you see it, you're like, really? And then you listen to it and you're like, no, there's these weird similarities between ZZ Top and Rapeman that, like, you had to cover it. I'm glad they did.
And it is a very interesting cover. The worst part of it, the reason why I don't like it so much, is the vocals. I think those are, I mean, it's not that like, I don't know, Albini has a fucking one of the most amazing scream voices. So when he's just trying to like straight sing a ZZ Top song, it sounds fucking weird. There's a bunch of vocal overdubs, so it sounds like a bunch of guys who can't sing trying to sing the ZZ Top song.
You know, I think it's just that good of a song.
Fair enough.
Who doesn't even if you just put some money when you get paid, you just throw on that song. ZZ Top version, Rapeman version, Mastodon version, doesn't matter.
I never heard the Mastodon version.
They're all good. They're all
shit.
good. I think they have. Is it Billy? Is that a guy in ZZ Top?
Oh yeah, Billy Gibbons.
Yeah, they have him on the Mastodon version. So
you know, I'm gonna just look up right quick just because I want to make sure. Yeah, Billy Gibbons. Okay.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Trouser
Minnow is the fucking greatest. I
laughed when he says, "Shave my pussy and paint your dick."
Oh yeah. The lyrics are from the point of view of a promiscuous girl who likes getting drunk and banging dudes, but also doesn't like that she does that. So you get this weird, what would you call it? Sort of a black and white sort of yin and yang thing, or like a what's the word? In movies where the unreliable narrator type thing.
Yeah.
Whether they're telling you a story, but you don't know how much of it is true, that kind of thing. Go ahead.
HBO, hit up Steve Albini for your new teen dramas. He's got ideas.
At least he did in the late 80s. I fucking love that song so much. And it was my favorite song on the album, as a teenager. And then when I went back to it, I forgot it existed.
Oh,
so
really?
When it came on, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, shit. This song rules. It's so good. It's a perfect closer. Yeah, I honestly even feel like it's not long enough. Like, that's pretty rare when, like, a song is, like, the longest one on the album or one of the longest ones of the album. It's clearly a big, giant, epic song. And it's like, they could have went harder. They could have went more. That song is good enough to go more.
Yeah.
I love that song.
And then, okay, so because we had to go through nefarious means. So the version of Super Pussy and Log,
those are all the same.
Okay.
Yeah. There's only the one EP. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I was like, why are we listening to the? Okay.
Yeah. They just tacked it on the EP at the end.
Got it.
Yeah. It's Oh yeah, so we might as well talk a little bit about the name Rapeman, which is we probably should talk about the beginning because it's a fucking insane name. It was taken from a Japanese comic book of the same name,
a manga, if you
That's
will.
right, yeah. And it's like exactly what it sounds like. It's a guy who goes, I mean, it's a rape man. He goes around raping. And it's like,
This is Bill Cosby.
it's just a Cosby. I feel like this guy is far less, I feel Cosby was less confrontational in his raping. He's far
maybe.
more, he's way more covert and sneaky, like a snake.
This guy
is like a fucking, I don't know. I never read the manga personally, but it seems far more terrifying. But it's also like a weird, creepy Japanese manga, and there's like no shortage of those. But unsurprisingly, that got them a lot of hate when they existed as a band. A lot of hate. There were like a lot of protests at the shows and stuff. And of course, it's everyone, the same types of people who protested Big Black stuff, not understanding that he was being satirical and he's not a rape man himself. But
and who wants to be?
well, Cosby, I think it is.
Cosby.
So yeah, Albini, it kind of became fascinated with it and used it, and now he's expressed regret about using the name.
Sims too, right?
Sims was more of a I don't like Sims' take on it so much because it feels less genuine. Sims said that he never liked it. It's his biggest musical regret, which sounds like he's trying to cover something up. Like, I'm sure it wasn't a big deal to you at the time because one, it was the 80s and it wasn't a big deal to anybody at the time, like being offensive for the sake of it. And then the band is a legitimately, unquestionably great band. So he seems like he has this bad taste about the whole thing, whereas Albino was like, he says he calls it like it was like getting a bad tattoo. He's like, I wish I didn't use that name. It didn't age well, but at the time I thought it was something more artistic, which is really what all of it is. Like you only express regret when something is aged badly that you're trying to be make a point with at a certain time. But when it's aged not badly, you don't say anything about it. So the intent is the same regardless, but that's what I mean. Like you have to take chances where you're at, and you don't know what the future is going to be. You don't know what we've already said is going to be looked at as blasphemy in a few years from now. All you do is just work with what you got.
Yeah, and I think, they're young. I think if the music aged poorly, it'd be a different thing. But
that's the main reason why I don't like what Sim said, because like this is good shit. Like this is
the
great
fact
songs.
that he said musical, it's musically it's fine.
Musically, it's fucking one of his best, and it honestly should be more available. Like, I mean, the name is fucking. It's crazy, but I mean, what other anal cunt is also a name? Like,
I mean, that could, to be fair, fucking Seth Putman, that guy is like, that's what I mean. All his shit was like done with the intent of, you have songs like Chasing Scotty and Down the Street with an Oven. Like he's like purposefully.
Yeah. That's a lot of that was just, let's just piss people off. But 30 years later, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have tried to piss people off. It's like, I mean, does the music stand up on its own? Yes or no? That's all I care about. And for this band, I'd say I can't believe how good it stands up. Like there's some of their best, some of Albini's best work is on here for sure.
Do you know why they broke up?
I don't know specifically. I did hear stuff here and there, like little short quotes that it was a lot of Rey Washam being a piece of shit alcoholic. Maybe not alcoholic. I'm forgetting. It was years ago, but I think he was really, really hard to work with. I think it was mostly Washam. I think he was going through a lot of stuff, and I think he took correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember reading that. I think it was like an interview years ago that he was like, he wasn't the greatest guy at that time period.
Well, like a supernova, and it's not like we didn't get like the Jesus lizard out of it, and I'm so glad we got the Jesus lizard for sure. Even though I wish Washam was in more stuff. This would be like upsetting if it was like someone died or.
Yeah.
If like people didn't go on to do other things.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This feels like this family tree of artists, like Big Black.
Yeah.
And of course, they're all this kind of interconnected. Yeah.
And then, of course, Albini going to record most Jesus Lizard albums. So you still get a little bit of his sound on there. And I mean, with really like the best Jesus Lizard albums, they sound as good as the Two Nuns and a Pack Mule, because that, I don't know, something about that late 80s, early 90s period where Albini's recording technique was just fucking perfect. I mean, he still sounds great.
Yeah.
There was something about these records that felt so next to you, that felt so live. And like you can kind of take things like for example, you hear on this album, you hear like, oh, there's like a certain amount of, reverb on the snare, for example. But what you associate with reverb on a snare, you think of like 80s production.
Yeah.
You think of it going too much. For some reason here, it just...
in the other direction. Yeah.
Here, it just feels live. It just feels right in the same room as you. It's a very special kind of recording techniques. And that's why I fucking love it so much.
Yeah. I just think for how wild his guitar sound was, like he had to produce his own, like who would know how to...
Yeah.
Who would know how to handle that? Like he had to.
That's funny because because with records that sound this good, it's easy to kind of just ignore what exactly is being prioritized in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen. Obviously, this is an Albini staple. Vocals are way low. So when he screams, it kind of cuts through, but for the most part, it's just really low. Guitar is actually second lowest.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly bass and drums. Drums at the very top. Drums is the absolute loudest, and then bass, and then you get, and because he's not really playing that many riffs, he's just doing a lot of crazy noisy stuff. It doesn't matter. So it feels like this giant, warm, full package. That could be interpreted as sexual, but it's not, I assure you.
Warm packages. Wearing skinny jeans today too.
But I think I've gushed enough over this.
Yes.
It's fucking really good. Everybody, listen to it.
Yes,
Find it anyway.
you did exactly what I thought you would, and carried 70% of that podcast.
Dude, it's so good. I listened to so much, and it was middle. I think it was like 8th grade and 9th grade. That was one of my peak Rapeman days. Should be saying that in public, but fucking good stuff. Good stuff, and it's good. It's fun to be going back to it now because like now. People watching this will know what I'm talking about. Whereas when I was a teenager, I just had my brother. No one else. Yeah. No one cared. No one fucking wanted to hear this shit.
Yeah. Too bad I'm not friends with that guy anymore.
Oh, right. Could have
R.I.P.
mandate.
I know. You guys could have been bros. R.I.P.
Is he dead?
Dead to me.
That's almost better. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I guess any closing thoughts?
Yeah, like the off-putting name, but if you're a fan of Big Black or just Albini or any of the other bands we talked about, which I kind of want it because I've also never listened to Scratch Acid, and I kind of wanted to do it, but then I'm like, no, I'm gonna save it for when we cover.
Dude,
so you guys get my like straight
raw reaction,
like direct, first time.
We gotta do them soon because for one, it's a one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's 3 records, but it's all on one CD. That's like an hour long, and it's awesome. And it's extremely relevant. And now we have the grounds to remember we talked about Rapeman? Well, here's Scratch Acid. And then, bam, Jesus Lizard. We're setting you guys up, motherfuckers. This is a whole universe that we're setting up.
We are. You can make a playlist. You make playlists now, right?
Hell yeah.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh. God damn, I want to do Scratch Acid soon. Fuck, man. Our schedule's really packed.
We're gonna get fatigued, we're gonna get burnt out, and we're gonna have to it's gonna be like break in case of emergency.
Yeah, it will be that for sure. So thank you all so much for listening and watching and hanging out. I hope you all go out of your way to find this because there's no link in the description for this band, unfortunately. I already forgot.
Support your local record shop if you live by one of those.
If you have one of those, by all means, please.
They might not have this album. You may feel like a creep asking them to order it, but you can preference it with Albini, and then they'll be like, oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah. Please. If you want to help us out, just subscribe, leave comments, share, appease the almighty algorithm because we will die if not. Please. You won't want us to die. Please, for the love of God. And patreon.com/every album ever. Didn't plug it so much at the beginning, but please, that's where we need the most help. Bonus episodes, early access to all the Loose Ends episodes, 20% off all merch, and of course, tier 2 gets to jump the line and actually get us to cover the artists that you want us to cover. We have a whole bunch. We have one coming up next week. We have more coming up later on. It should be a good time. And I think that's that's about it for that. Follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey. If you'd like, you can follow Alex on Instagram.
At Mother Puncture.
Hell yeah, buddy. Well, it's about that time.
Well, I'm gonna no.
How dare you? Listen here, mister.
Is that your Terry Funk impression?
Oh, you know what?
That's a good. If it wasn't, it's a good Terry Funk.
Dude, I'm gonna pretend that it was. It could also pass off as a Mankind impression.
Oh well, that's probably where he got it from, because Terry Funk was like his idol and then his mentor.
Makes sense. Look at that. That's beautiful, baby. That's beautiful. Well, I got it. I mean, my 15-year-old self would kick me in the nads if I didn't close it with Trouser Minnow. So that's what we're doing. And thank you all so much for listening and watching. See ya.